to Craft Along. Oh, it's so wonderful to be with you today. My name is Rebecca Redican. Call me Becky, or Bex, I get called that. When I worked in America, I used to be called Boo as well, like, you know, the character off Monsters, Inc. Yeah, I used to get called Boo quite a bit as well. But yes, it's so lovely to be with you today for Craft Along. So if you've never seen this before, today it's all about paper piecing, and it is just what it says on the tin. It's crafting along. So if you've been on our socials, you will have seen the list of treats you need to get ready. And if you do not have them as of yet, do not worry. Sit back, relax. We're going to be bringing you the treats that you need, and you can watch this live now, but you can also watch it back at your own leisure. So, paper piercing, Craig, what are we up to today?
Rightio, I am a huge fan of paper piecing. I find it so therapeutic, it's so relaxing to do, I personally think, and I know many of you think the same as well. Many of you wanted to do some paper piecing, you want to know either a little bit more, some of you have heard of it, you've seen it, but you've just never really known how to do it or where to start or what to do. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it relatively simple within this one, this Craft Along, and who knows, maybe as the time goes on, we might get more detailed paper piecing when it comes to Craft Along in the future. But yeah, really looking forward to this one, and a lot of love as well for this one over the last couple of days. So what we can do, let's show you what we are going to be making. We are going to be making this card here. Only difference, it's going to be on a larger card blank. That's the only difference. We're going to have a nice white frame all the way around. But this one that you can see on here is actually using a Pretty Petals die. This is the outline die, and these ones, we've got a selection of different ones if you've not got these, but these are so good for doing your paper piecing. So we're going to do the paper piecing where you see all of that red and all of that green. That is exactly what we're going to be paper piecing by the end of at least this Craft Along on this card. You'll have one either looking exactly the same, if that's what you choose to do. Maybe it's going to look different because you choose to make it different. Maybe you don't have the die that we're going to use and you're doing something else. It's entirely up to yourself. It's going to be nice to see whatever you make. But I believe we've got, coming up on your screen, so just in case you've not seen social media the last couple of days, this is what you're going to need. So you're going to need your Gemini, either your junior, your midi, or even your large Gemini. You're going to need your Pretty Pastel die set. You're going to need some white stamping card, matte black card. You're going to need your contemporary watercolour card. You need your sunflower tones, the 12 by 12, the warm tones, 12 by 12, and also a piece of self-adhesive black cardstock. And then additional elements that you're going to need your Spectrum Noir Quick Dry Jet Black or Noir Black or any black stamping ink that you've got. Collal All-Purpose Glue. I'm going to use the tape runner instead. Collal Tacky Glue, we will be using that for the paper piecing. Collal 3D Glue Gel, I'm going to be using foam pads instead, and there is the tape pen there. So those additional elements is what you're going to need to actually adhere and stick the card together. The page before with the pattern paper and that's what I've used. You might want to change it slightly. It's entirely up to yourself. But I'm going to get myself ready, and then you'll be coming back to me just shortly where we're going to get started.
So if you do want to treat yourself to this, I've got everything you need. So in this collection, you are going to be getting a number of different dies and stamps to correspond to those, so you can create your own beautiful cards like that, or with a similar feel. So let's go through some of the treats that you have the chance of getting your hands on in this bundle today. This is the one that Craig's going to be demoing with, but as we said before, you can use whatever you wish for your paper piercing Craft Along today. This one here is the Pretty Petals collection, and you can see you're getting the wonderful floral detail. You've also got the sentiment stamps in here. You've got some beautiful ones in this, as in just to say and thank you. Those ones are always ones that we need, right? You've also got in here the beautiful detail of the butterfly garden. This is the one with your flowers and the two butterflies hovering. It's got the wonderful frame. Again, you've got your stamps in there with sentiments. Also, this is one of my favourites. We've got the majestic hummingbird. Interesting fact about a hummingbird, it's the only bird that can fly backwards. Just something I know. I don't know why. But yeah, you've got your majestic hummingbird here. You can really play with the colours on this one. We're also going to be bringing to you the butterflies alone. Now this one is the dancing butterflies. You've got a serious selection of them here, and you've got the florals in the corners. As well as all of this, You're getting some extra treats, your sweet succulents. Succulents are big in trend at the moment, aren't they? Succulent, great word. You're also getting lovely sentiments on here. I really like, which one was it that I really liked? Sorry for being a bit prickly. I like that one. I think that's really cute. And you're also going to be getting, just to show you again, the majestic hummingbird with those words stamped out too. So these are the treats that you're going to be getting your hands on today. 50 elements in total with this. So we have got absolutely oodles in here. Let me give you your prices today. It's $53.96 here in Great British Pounds, or if you're getting it in dollars, it is $67.36. Again, you can see that usual price just above it. You have got a massive saving on these ones, so do feel free to grab them whilst you can. I want to hear from you, okay? This hour is all about you. If you need anything repeating, or you missed something, or maybe you've got a question that you think, have you ever had those questions that you think, oh, I should really ask that on the telly? No, I'll research it online. And then you go online and there's loads of different information. It gets really confusing, yeah? Ignore all of that, get in touch with us on our socials, and that is how you do it. And if you need anything repeating, or you would like to maybe have anything else, anything clarifying, then you can get in touch with us that way, and we will answer those questions for you. Now, let's get ready, get sat down, get your crafts out, and let's get ready to make with the wonderful Craig.
Thank you very much. Let's go for it then, and let's get crafting. So what I've done to start with is I have taken a piece of our white smooth stamping card, and all that I've done is scored it in half. So you could use your guillotine, maybe your Ultimate Pro or your scoreboard, or maybe like me, you actually buy your card blanks already pre-scored. So it's A5 or A4 folded in half, or letter size folded in half. Obviously letter size would just make it slightly bigger, but you've still got your elements there to do your card blank. So what we're going to do just now is let's set that to the side. We're now going to bring in a piece of our white smooth black cardstock, and what we need to do is we need to cut this to 5 by 7. Now many people, they do ask, now I'm wondering if George, if we're able to zoom in a little bit closer, because once we get in my lovely mucky guillotine, you can tell I use it a lot. I have noticed I have got a date on the top, and I don't know why I put that date there. Now, when you have a look at these perfect, George. When you have a look at these score lines, so when I say 5 by 7, or if I say like that on social media, anything like that, some people say, because within the grids here, you can see how there's like, I don't know, maybe about 1 millimetre, 2 millimetre gap. People will actually ask, the crafters out there, Craig, do I put my cardstock to the left or to the right? Now, what I always do is just pop it to the right of this little notch. So where you've got your score lines, just pop it down to the left-hand side. No, we won't. The right-hand side, sorry. That's then going to make it nice and even. So what I mean by that, 5 by 7, so we can go right in, and we're going to the first part of the notch. Cutting at 5, turning it, and we're going up to the 7-inch mark on my guillotine and cutting it. So that's going to be layer 1, the base of our card blank. Then we need to bring in some watercolour card, pattern paper card. So if you are going with what I've used, then it is our contemporary watercolour card. So for this one there, we're going to come down 1/4 inch. So therefore, what we're going to do with this one is we're going to go 6 3/4 by going 4 3/4. This is then going to give us our perfect 1/4 inch increment all the way round. So what we can then do on this next one, we are going to move straight down into another layer of black. Now with this black one, we're coming all the way down to 4 1/4. So we're going 4 1/4, and then we're going 6 1/4 up to 6 1/4. And then if I bring my layers back in, you'll soon see that's going to sit nicely there, and we're still getting but that depth of colour all the way around. You might want to choose a different pattern paper if you want, that's up to yourself, but we're going for that one there. Then what we can do is let's go in with another pattern paper. And this one, what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 by 6. So we can go 4 inches into our guillotine. We're then going to go 6 inches up to here. there is our layer. And I've purposely wanted to do quite a few layers because so many of you ask me about how I do my layers and get them perfect with the guillotine. So that's why I've put so many in. So there's that one. So if we then go on to our last layer at the moment, and then I will just do a recap on those sizes that I've done. We need to come into another piece of our white smooth stamping card. And for this one, we're going to go for 3 1/4 inches. So we're coming all the way down to 3 1/4. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up to, now did I do that? 3 3¾ it's meant to be. So let's go into here, there we go. So 3 3/4. And then with this one, we're going 5 3/4, which is here. So that means I've got all my layers. So let's do a little bit of a recap just on the layers that I've done into place. So we've got our main card blank, so our A5 card blank. So we've got our black layer. So let's pick this one up, which is 5 by 7. We've then got a piece of our pattern paper, which is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. We've then got another piece of black layer, which is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. We've then got a piece of pattern paper, once again, still from the same paper pad, which is 4 inches by 6 inches. And then what we've got is we've got a piece of white smooth stamping card, which is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. So this is then giving us the accent of that black layer to really make it stand out, but what it's also doing is it's just letting us see some of that colour all the way around. So then what we can do is we can pop these layers to the side, and what we're going to do is we're going to start to layer these ones up with our tape runner. So with our main pattern paper layer, let's go around with our tape runner, and then what we can do, once we pop it onto here, you can either use your Collal glue gel like was on the list originally, or what you can then do is use your tape runner for this one, which can go all the way around. Simple mats and layers at the moment. We're getting our card base all ready for us to start to do our paper piecing with our die. That can go into the centre there. Then what we can do is let's bring in our other 2 layers. So let's go into place here. So we'll pop our double-sided tape onto this one. And then this is going to go onto this black layer. But this is where you can either use your all-purpose glue or your Collal 3D glue gel. I'm going to use my foam pads. So we're going to lift this layer up. So let's pop our pads into place. So what we can do is bring these ones all the way in. So let's just make sure we've got a good coverage here. And then layering in this one on the top. Now for some reason that has just blown my mind, I put your all-purpose and glue gel on the list instead of the foam pads. Which for me to forget foam pads is, I don't know what was going on in my mind that day.
Because they're one of your favourites, aren't
Yes.
they?
Yeah, foam pads. I do like a foam pad. I like obviously the different depths that you get. I know you can do that with glue gel. I like the fact that it's instant. You know, I like that layer of foam pads. And it's just something that I've always used. You know, I've said many a times the first products I bought in crafting, we talked about it earlier on. One of them was being an adhesive kit and foam pads were in there, and I've just started and carried on with the foam pads. So always done that, and it's always just a love when it comes to getting some dimension into the cards that I've been using. Now what we can then do is, now that we've got these layers all good to go, we can then look to bring our main die. So let's bring in my die, which is here. So let's bring it in. I just love the fact that you've got your stamps as well to go with them. You can use the sentiments in conjunction or use them separate. So what we can do is let's take this one off. Now at this point, what you're going to need, as on the list, is either a piece of black cardstock that's got your double-sided adhesive sheet on the back. If you don't have that, the alternative option is to take just a piece of our black matte cardstock and one of our double-sided adhesive sheets. So pop that onto one side, and then that means that you've got your self-adhesive black sheet. But what we can do is we can bring this one into place here. So what I'm going to do is that going to just fit that way it is, so I'm not going to waste anything. So what we can do is I'm going to just layer these ones up, and then I know there's been a lot of layering going on there. Maybe, if it's okay with you, Becky, if we jump across back to you in just a moment or two, and then that will let everyone else catch up and get me sorted to go on to the next step.
Not a problem at all.
So that one is going to go onto place there. We are then going to cut this one once we come back. I'm not going to do anything else right now. We're going to go over to Becky just to do a little bit of a catch up, and then when we come back, we'll carry on again.
Thank you. So this is your time to be catching up, getting everything cut out. Let me just remind you that we're going to be with you for a little bit of time. It's for you to craft along, take your time with it. You've got plenty of time, but also toward the end when you finish yours, whether that's slightly before or slightly afterwards, don't worry about it. Make sure you're taking those pictures, take them on your phone, your camera, whatever you fancy, and then do send them to us via social, because this is the whole point of crafting, isn't it? For me anyway, it's a craft community. You don't just craft for yourself, do you? You make cards to send out, to raise smiles and to share your ideas. So do get them sent in, and this is how you do it. It's studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk if you want to. I will just remind you of exactly what you're going to be getting in this collection. And do you fancy seeing maybe a few makes with the collection? Ooh, go on then. It's always good to be inspired, isn't it? So let me remind you what we're bringing to you. Pretty Petals is what lovely Craig is getting lined up for us as we speak. We've also got in here for you the Butterfly Garden. You're getting the Majestic Hummingbird, as well as the Dancing Butterflies. I absolutely adore this one. I live in Chester, which, if you do not know it, it has the second most photographed clock in Europe. Yeah, but also it has a zoo, and how do I know that stuff? I know, it's very odd. But yeah, it's got a Chester Zoo, and it's got a butterfly house in it, and that's what this makes me think of. I think it's wonderful. As well as that, you've got your sweet succulents as well, with, of course, your sentiments alongside that too. Let's have a look at a few bits of inspiration, shall we? This is the one, of course, with the butterflies. We've got this wonderful piece. I love this. It's been made by Jackie. Thank you for this. I like with this one how it's quite bold, even though you're using almost like a sorbet selection of colours. I think that's very dainty and very delicate. And then if I juxtapose that massively with pop of colour, it goes to show how different these can kind of look and feel. And as you can see, you've got the acetate on there as well, so that's giving you that really nice 3D effect. We've got this one here, which I have to say really did make me smile when I was having a look at it. It's really my colour palette. This is another one by Jackie, and this is the layered dies and the stamps. And this one, you've got the lovely white card, which I think is really shining through, and it's got the Spectrum Noirs in there as well. And I have actually got some treats like that available for you too. This is another one which I have to say I'm really, really inspired. Is it just me? I'll be honest with you, Craig. I have been to Scotland, I think 2 or 3 times in my life, but not for quite some time. These are the colours that make me think of Scottish Highlands. Would you agree with that?
I can see exactly where you're coming from as well. Yeah, that one that you've actually got in your hand, it's actually the one that we're doing. It's kind of got that feel as if you look at pictures of thistles. The thistles kind of open and flow in that sort of way. So it's kind of got that look, that feel. So I completely understand where you're coming from.
Maybe that's the one it's making me think of then. So those are just a few inspos. I've got some more to show you in a little bit. Again, if you are watching this live right now and you're thinking, oh, Becky, I really want to be able to make these, you can treat yourself to them. All of your info is at the side of the screen. You're getting a massive amount in there. So hopefully you're up to speed with us now. Don't forget, I want to hear from you on socials. If you've got any questions that might be relating to this selection or even something different, now's your chance to get involved, so do feel free. For now though, let's head back over to Craigle.
Rightio, let's go for it. I love that name. I love that name. Only either my friends when I was a lot younger used to call me that one, so nice
I like
hearing it again.
Craigle.
Nice hearing it
I think it suits you.
Yeah. good, suits me, that's fine. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to move on, but just quickly, we will kind of recap those steps again once more. So what we've done is we've got our A4 card blank and we have scored it in half to create our A4 or A5 card blank. Now our main black layer, the base layer, is 5 by 7, 5 inches by 7 inches. Then our pattern paper layer that we can see here is 4.75 inches by 6.75 inches. Then what we've got is our black layer that we can see here is 4.25 inches by 6.25 inches. We've then got our next pattern layer, which is 4 inch by 6 inch. And then on this top one, what we've got is we've got our white smooth stamping card, which is 5 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. The only layer that's been lifted on foam pads is this black layer here. So we've got our pattern paper on top of this middle black layer, and that one is lifted on foam pads. It is optional. You might not want to lift it with height. You don't have to, but you've got that option in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this bit unstuck. We're going to leave it just at the side at the moment, because this is where it's going to be easier to paper piece. So let's bring in our die. So this is the die that we are going to be using. But this one here, I'm going to use our black cardstock. This has got the adhesive backing already on it. If you don't have any of that, then you can use your black matte cardstock and your self-adhesive black sheets. And as it's one of our wafer thin dies, it just means that it is 2 cutting plates, plastic and magnetic shim. And what I always like to do as well is just pop in my metal shim as well. But if you are after some brand new plates for your Gemini, whether it's the Junior or that sounded like a dog that was howling away there.
Oh no, I thought it was more seal.
Or a seal. I know, I just missed doing that. There we go. There's cameras watching everywhere. Yeah, if you are looking to get, or maybe you just want to invest in some more brand new plates for your Gemini Junior or your large Gemini, then do make sure you check out the website, because we have got them back in stock and they are coming up on, it's a cartload, isn't it?
Yes.
Cartload that they're coming up on, so yeah, good one to have. Now, what we're doing, popping our die in, nothing different to what you would usually do with any of your die cuts. What I am doing is I'm going to pop my die into place and tape it down. The reason I'm using my metal shim for this one is because of the cardstock that I'm using. It's got that self-adhesive backing. So we've got an extra layer of self-adhesive backing, and we've also got an actual backing of that self-adhesive. So we've got a few extra layers in place. Still putting the metal shim if you've used or created your own self-adhesive black layer, because you've still got extra thickness when it comes to those layers. But what we're going to do is take this one out. Now what this does is this will give us what we would say is a pencil line. So if you see what looks like a pencil line, it's die cut just beautifully. So what we can do is we can take this outside edge away, because we don't need this one. And for the time being, we don't need any of these little bits in the middle. So I can take them out. You might want to keep a hold of them and use them for another paper piecing project, because what you need to remember at the moment, all these bits that are popping out are self-adhesive. They've got a sticky backing on them. So you might just want to keep a hold of them.
That's great.
Worthwhile. And we're taking oh, there we go. Looking to pop it out, and it was already out. So we're popping all these bits out. Some of them you will still get the backing of your sheet coming off that you can see here. Let it flow, let it come out, taking all these bits out. The main thing is, in a moment, what we're going to do is we're going to be popping it onto our cardstock anyway. So what we can do is let's peel that off as it is just now and take these bits out. So we're going to take these bits out. Now, not only can you do paper piecing that we're away to do, these are really good as well. If maybe you like the idea of heat embossing, but you don't have heat embossing powders or anything along those lines, then this gives you that heat embossed edge effect, because it's nicely raised. So you could come along and you could colour in the middle with any of your mediums. But what we can do is let's take these last little bitties out, take them out, pop these little bits. Just want to make sure I've got all of these ones out into place. peel, and I think that is, oh, take this one. That's it. What we're going to do is we're going to pop this one to the side, and we're going to pop them ones here. So I just want a bit of a clean area so we can bring our cardstock. So we're going to go back to our piece of white cardstock that we haven't stuck down yet. So this one is the 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then we can start to just layer this one up. So we're going to pop it into the middle, and we're going to get it as close to the middle as you can get. And we're going to press, because it's got self-adhesive backing on the back. Whether you use one that's pre-done or you do your own, it gives it a bit more substance, so it's not going to kind of flap as much. What will happen is it will stand strong while you're trying to press it down. And then what we can do is we're going to press that one. So we're really going to press that one down. A little bit of heat from your hands will help get that tackiness from the adhesive into place. Alternatively, you might be using one of our sprays instead. If you are either using a dotty tape runner or even a wet tacky glue, what I'm going to do is I'm very conscious of a lot of these layers and these kind of steps. You might be taking a wee moment or two. So once again, Becky, what we'll do just in a moment is I'm going to come back to you just for a minute or two, just for anyone to catch up. And then what we can then do is come back. So here we go. So don't worry, we're not going to be chopping changing a lot. It's just these layers at the start. These are just ones that they are a bit time consuming for some people, and just want to make sure everyone's caught up. So I'm going to stand here, do nothing. You're not going to miss anything, and you'll come back to me in a second.
Thank you. Let's have a little look at what you've been sailing up to. Christine is saying, hi everyone. I love this craft along, but I'm trying to get my house ready to sell. So I'll be watching in the next few weeks whilst working on this house. Oh, good. And don't forget, you can watch this back whenever you wish, and good luck on that. Good luck on that. We have got a question in from Barbara, if I may.
Yes.
Can you use the junior plates in the Gemini?
You absolutely can. So try not to make it too complicated. The Gemini plates, you turn them sideways, they're going to go into your daddy Gemini, as I like to call it. But then what you can do, so you can't use your junior plates in the Pro. You can't do it that way, they're too small. So the junior plates will go in the daddy Gemini, and then your A4 plates for your daddy Gemini, they'll go in with the Pro, turning them sideways. So each of the steps go all the way up. So I believe the Pro is called the Beast now. So we've got the junior, we've got the daddy that I nicknamed, and it's kind of stuck. And apparently now the Pro is called the Beast.
Okay, I like that. That's a good one to remember. We've had Joy in saying, Becky, so great to see you in a live show. You are a delight. Joy, bringing joy. Thank you, Joy. You're a joy. It's joyful to hear that. You're a love. Karen says, I'm not naturally creative, so I rely on these shows and ideas as inspiration. I love crafting, even though I'm not creative. That's an interesting one, that, actually, isn't it? So would you say you're a little bit more sort of mathematical maybe in mind? How are you at maths and all of that?
No, not maths, no. But it's funny you say that. I'm the same when it comes to cooking, because I love to cook. Now, crafting, I can sit and come up with all these different ideas. Cooking, I can't just go into a kitchen and just make up lots of stuff. I need to follow a recipe. For an outcome, and I'm always pleased with the outcome. You know, the outcome's really, really good. But I need that recipe to follow. You know, I can't just throw things together like I do in crafting. So I get that. I understand that. Yeah.
That's so interesting, because with cooking, I am the type of person to go up to a fridge and open it and go, right, this is what I'll make.
Oh wow! I wish I could.
I've never followed a recipe in my life.
No.
I mean, I've looked at a recipe and changed bits. That's probably why I'm so rubbish at making cakes.
I'm good at making cakes.
I'll add a bit of something else in. Just always end up flat. Anyway, Katie said, a big shout out to the CC for these awesome tutorials and training. Oh, that's lovely. We've had Marie in saying, good morning. I'm so excited. My Gemini Pro comes today. I can't wait. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. I hope you've set aside the whole weekend, because you're going to be crafting up a storm, I'm sure. Whilst you're there, don't forget you can keep your questions coming in. Let us know what you're up to it is World Book Day, so if you want to let us know your favourite book, absolutely do. Before we head on back into our demo, just to give you time to catch up and carry on with the craft, let's have a little look at this video.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the Crafty makes. We'll send you a completely free quarterly Digimag direct into your inbox, giving you lots of hints, tips, inspiration, additional offers and some sneaky behind the scenes gossip from the team. So what are you waiting for? Become a member of our club today.
So that is our wonderful Club Inspire, which you can treat yourself to because you're going to be making discounts on top of the discounts you're already getting. So it's bargain upon bargain. If you have just tuned in, welcome. It's lovely to see you. I've actually had a message in from, was it Terry? No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was Stephanie saying, Rebecca, do you like being addressed as Rebecca or do you prefer something else like Becky? Good question. Okay. I will always introduce myself as Rebecca Redican, because I like alliteration and I like the way that there's 3 beats in each name. It's very odd, but I do actually like being called Becky. Or Bex is fine as well. Pretty much anything like that is absolutely fine. I even answer to Rachel, but that's because it's my sister's name and sometimes my mum just calls me it when she gets a bit confused. So yes, it is absolutely Becky, but do feel free to call me Rebecca as well if you fancy it. It's lovely to be with you. You are tuning in right now for our craft along, and we are partially way through making a wonderful paper pierced card. Just as a reminder, this was your shopping list, and this is what you'd need to have ready for you to craft along with us. And if you are going to be watching this back, which you can do at your leisure, this is what you're treating yourself to, and you can grab these on the show today. So you need the Gemini cutter, whichever one of those you wish to use. You've got the Pretty Petals die shape and set, that's what we've had on air for you. Your white stamping card, your matte black card, you want your watercolor paper pad as well, sunflower tones, and you've got the 12x12s on the warm tones as well, which again we have got on show for you. Self-adhesive black card, and you've also want to grab the Spectrum Noir quick dry ink set, and of course all of your different glues. So you want your maybe you want to be using your all-purpose glue, you want to be using your 3D glue, and don't forget as well your foam pads as well. They're handy. You want a bit of a sticky one of those. So do feel free to treat yourself to all of those, and we have got them available for you. Don't forget as well, whilst you're crafting along with us, once you've come to the end of your design, whether it's the same or a bit of a twist, you can send them in and we'll have a nosy at them during the end of the show. For now though, let's head back on over to Craig Corner.
I love it, love it. Here we go, let's have a look and see. This is what the outcome's going to be. Now, I've changed it slightly, simply, and it's nothing that you need to do at home. This is a 5x7 card, and our one will be on a A5 card. That's the only difference, nothing different anywhere else. So I just liked it to have it on a bit of a bigger scale for you. So this is what it's going to be like. So we've done most of the layers. What we're then going to do is if we bring back in what we've already done when it comes to the die cutting. So we've die cut it out into our self-adhesive black layer. And this is what I was on about, Becky, where if you like the idea of heat embossing, but maybe you don't want to do it, maybe the heat is an issue for you, maybe there's kids going about, maybe you can't invest in the moment with heat embossing powders. This is going to give you that look and feel because it's a raised area. So you can colour in with all your pens or your different mediums, etc, etc. But what we are going to do is paper piece it because I just love it. And these just shout out to be paper pieced. So what we're then going to do is bringing in a piece of our red texture cardstock and also our green cardstock. So these ones here are from our 12 by 12 paper pad. So these ones are from our sunflower tones and also our warm tones. So our warm tones and then our sunflower tones, because this runs through the orange tones. So then what we can do, we're kneading the dye again. We're needing the same dye. Now what you can also do at this point, I'm going to do the paper piecing in kind of like the traditional way. What you could do if you want to do is pop some of the self-adhesive backed adhesive onto the back, and then once you paper piece it, all the bits that come out, peel off the back and stick them into place. That's one way of doing it. We're going to do it kind of like the way that I've always done it, and that's using our tacky glue and our little applicator here. So what we're going to do is do our die cutting as we would. We're going to bring in our layers, and what I'm going to do on this occasion, I'm not going to pop my metal shim in because it is just our cardstock, which is round about off the top of my head about a 230 GSM. Let me check. From it. Oh, look at that. Good guess. Good guess. While he just about knocks his Ultimate Pro on the floor. Whew, got that one. Got that one. So they are only the one layer of cardstock, no adhesive, anything like that for it to go through. So we're just going to go straight onto our cutting plate. Plastic shim, magnetic, and top cutting plate. So we're going to take these ones out the way. Now at this point, once it comes through, comes out the other end, what you need to do is just be careful when you take the die out. You know, you don't want to lose all the bits, because what you're wanting to keep is actually the bits that fall out. They're the bits that you want. So we're going to do the red one first. So what I'm going to do before I actually just take the die off, I'm going to slide it to the side. You can see some of these bits have already popped out. And then what I'm going to do is carefully lift it. And before I take it completely away, I'm just being kind of rough at the moment. I'm not being overly precise, but what I'm wanting to do is kind of have a look. So I want this area here and these little bits here to be red. So I know it's round this area here. So let's pop a lot of these out, and it will be like a jigsaw. So you can come along once we start to attach our adhesive into place, and we can then just find all the corresponding areas. So let's lift that one up and take this one up. And then what we can do is, I know we need a few of these ones. So you're just wanting to do a bit of sifting out and taking all these wee bits into place. If you want to bring this back in so you get a good knowledge at the moment, then you can. But what I'm doing is I'm going to bring all these bits up. So I don't know if I need them. No, I won't need that. Don't need any. Well, I might need that bit, I think. There's a small bit. Might be a small bit. Let's see, anything else there. So you're having a look, seeing what's going to match with your design. Pick out the bits that you want. Always have a look and make sure there's no bits still in place. So all the bits around there that I would be looking to paper piece have come out. So they're all around our little pile here. So what we can do is let's move these bits out the way. Now I'm not going to throw them on the floor or bin them just yet, because you never know. A couple of the little bits that I need will quite possibly be within that little stash. So before we go onto our green layer, let's start to paper piece these ones into place. So we are going to bring in a few of these. Let's get a few good to go. So I know and can see all these ones go into place. So that's fine. So this is going to be a good starter. So there's them, and because you're black layer, that gives you that kind of like a protection edge. What it does is it just slots into place all these little bits. So then what we're doing is we're going to now have a look, because there's obviously a lot of these bits that are in with my little pile here. A lot of these you would think, you know, these are just waste bits little bits, but are actually key components for your, basically, it's like a little jigsaw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Playing away, having a look, let's see any of these. So I think that bit's there. So this is what I always do first, Becky, is I go along the full image and I do a rough paper piece without any adhesive, making sure I've got all the bits that I need. And then once I know that they're here, we can go back in, have a wee look. Is that going to be that one? It is. Another sift through. So there's that one. This is the sort of thing that I have a lap tray. You know, one that you would tend to maybe sit on the couch and have your tea while watching the TV.
Yeah.
I've got one that I just keep for crafting, because let's face it, it's a bit inky and sticky with adhesive, so I don't really want to be eating my tea on that one. But and I have one like that where I do paper pieces in front of the couch if I'm doing it downstairs.
In front of the couch?
In front of the couch, in front of the TV, on the couch.
Oh no, I like the idea of you just sat facing your couch on the floor.
On a beanbag or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, in front of the TV, on the couch, that's what I was meaning. And just sit in paper piece. What you could also do now that we have our Totally Tiffany rotating board, that would be a good one to actually use as well for your paper piecing.
Yes, of course.
So, oh, I did not know that. I just heard that in my ear.
We're going to double check before we announce.
Yeah,
it.
I'm not going to say what I heard.
No, me
just
neither.
in case.
No. But if it is the case, very cool. 7 o'clock, Saturday.
There we go. Who needs Ant and Dec when you've got Totally Tiffany?
Totally Tiffany, 7 o'clock on Saturday. Ooh, that's my Saturday night sorted.
I know, that'll be mine as well, I think.
Who would you be, Ant or Dec?
Dec.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, I'm just drawn to Dec more.
Yeah, me too.
Here we go, now look. Oh, is that, I thought it was the right bit. Is it not? There we go, so we've just got one little bit to go. No, it's not that one. Right, Craig, find that last bit. Find that last bit. No, it's not that one because it's the wrong way round. Let's have a look. So it's got to be in my little bits here. Is it on my tray? That was the bit, wasn't it?
It's like when I'm doing a jigsaw. I do an advent calendar for my grandma every single year and have
really?
done. I've done it now for over 20 years. I think it's like 25 years. And it's like a fabric advent calendar, and every day you have a gift, and every other day we used to do chocolates, but she doesn't eat chocolates anymore. So now what I do is I make her a jigsaw. So we get a 1,000-piece jigsaw. I have to make it for her, and then I will take off, say, 100 pieces so that she knows they all go in together. So it's a little bit easier for her. But the amount of times I make the jigsaw and then the last piece has gone missing.
Yeah.
It's happened so many times. It only takes the cat to walk across and it's gone under the sofa. Sometimes I've had to post my grandma the missing piece because I found it later down the side of my sofa or something. So that's what you're making me think of now, looking for that last piece.
Yeah, it must be frustrating. And like that, I was thinking it's got to be here.
And it was.
It was just to... It was actually that bit I was trying to get, and I just had to turn. Did you notice that? Did you notice that?
No.
If I'd only just turned it another 90 degrees, it would have fitted in. In that case, have a look. Always check the back of your die. Always check your plates, because sometimes the little pieces will stick onto there, and if not, it's maybe just dropped onto the floor. But here is a red layer. So that's all. So the bits that I wanted to paper piece in red. So I know I've got them all good to go. So what I could then do is use this piece somewhere else. So the actual positive piece is not actually what we're needing. So we can use it elsewhere. And then what you could have done, remember when we die cut this black layer, you could have used the bits that have popped out from the black into the bits that's popped from the red.
Fab.
So all these different things. Or maybe you can take a piece of watercolour card, create your own background with sparkle pens, sparkle pots, anything like that. Let it dry, then die cut, and then all those bits can then pop into place. So you've created your own sparkly aqua pen background when it comes to the paper piecing. So many different things that you can do when it comes to paper piecing. So now that I know I've got all these bits that I need, I'm going to just tap it out for the time being, and I'm going to set it nicely to the side. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to do exactly the same one more time, but we're going to do it into the green cardstock. And this is then going to give us the stem as well as the leaves. So cardstock, popping our die in place, plastic, magnetic and top plate, running them once through. So even by piece of black cardstock, piece of red cardstock, and a piece of green cardstock, we can get quite a few different looks, different ways, different paper piecing, different outlines, lots of different ways in which you can actually get creative when it comes to the design of your paper piecing. But what we can then do, very similar to what I've done a moment ago, but on this occasion we need just a few less. Let's lift these ones up just now. I'm going to pop that outline bit down. And then what I want to do is the stem and the leaves. So let's have a look. So I think a lot of these are still actually in place. So we can, using these little piercing holes, using our pokey tool, we can pop all these ones out. So we can see, so I know that's that one there. So what we can do, let's peel some of that off just now, maybe make it easier. So I can see by doing that now, Becky, I know I need the inside bit. So these ones here, and here. So let's pop all them out. So what I'm doing is I've got it really close to my glass mat. This is actually sitting on my glass mat and I'm holding it with my finger. That gives enough space underneath for the little bits just to drop onto the glass mat. So let's pop them out. So let's move that to the side. So I think we will be just about there. So there's that one. There is that one. There is that one. So a couple more. So there's that one. And then we've got a couple of little bits in place here. So some of them looks like they are in here. Now, all these tiny little bits, fiddly bits, if you don't want to do them, you don't have to do them. I do like to have a full image, and I'm not fully putting them in. I just need to know that they are the right ones. Oh, we've got a couple of other little bits. So there's that one, and then I think last but not least, I think this little bit is going to go into the bottom. And now I know that, oh, I knew that would happen. Oh, Becky. Oh, Becky. That one little bit.
No.
And
Wait, is it just, oh no.
Do you know what we can do? We can come along with a classic pen or a tri-blend pen and no one's going to know that Becky put me off and it just pinged to the other side.
Oh yeah, no, it was my fault. No, it was completely.
So you can see now, so that's us now got all of our bits, minus that one little bit that just pinged away. But we can colour that in with a classic pen. That's me now got all these bits that I need to paper piece into place there. I don't know, is there any comments or that just... Only because I'm just thinking, I know maybe some of you are maybe taking just a little bit longer just to pop them out. So maybe a minute or two and we can come back. Again, I'm not going to, what I'll do is I'll put the green bits to the side. I'm not going to do any sticking just yet. Let you get a bit of time.
Okay. If I see you scrambling around on the floor though for that tiny millimetre, I will bring it up. Okay, we've got Kathy in with us. Kathy's got a question if that's all right.
Yeah.
It says, I've just started crafting. What is the best paper to use? I have all of the tools, I've just never used them.
So when it comes to paper pieces, you can absolutely use a number of different weights. So, you know, it could be a low one, 150, 180, because you're actually paper piecing it onto a bit of cardstock. If you're meaning like cardstock as a base, for instance, this base white layer that I'm using, this one's our 300 GSM. But when it comes to, as I say, actually paper piecing, it could be a multitude of different weights because it's going to be sturdy once it's on. So don't worry too much, about the weights or that you're popping into place. As long as you've got a nice selection of different cards, it might be mirror card, it might be silver card, anything like that. But for them ones, just use what you've got in your stash and just have some fun to start with.
I love that. Thank you very much. We've had Lorna Jane in again. Hi, my love. Saying, I don't have a favourite book because it's World Book Day today. I don't have a favourite book, but I do like a murder mystery detective. And Charles Dickens. Have you seen Dickensian? BBC TV show.
No, I've not.
Oh, well, if you're into a bit of Dickens, it's brilliant. Basically what they do is, it's a stellar cast. It's amazing cast within it. And what they do is they get a lot of Dickensian characters and they reform a story. So they're all kind of in it as one. It's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, it might be worth the watch. We have got Brian in saying, this looks quite intricate. I'd sure to enjoy doing this. Well, I reckon if you like jigsaws, this could be a good one for you, couldn't it? We have also got Jean Marie in saying, I haven't got these dies, but I'm using a CC Rose. Beautiful. Ooh. Don't forget, you can send in your pictures once you've finished your craft along, so do feel free. I've had another message in saying, I do believe this is going to be the hardest part for me, trying to keep the pieces straight. This will be a bit like a good old jigsaw puzzle. I think you're completely and absolutely right there. It definitely will. And there's something I think quite relaxing actually about jigsawing, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like the paper piece and I like all these little bits, really relaxing. For me anyway, yeah.
I mean, it's not like a jigsaw where, you know, like, you know, have you ever done those like tin of baked beans jigsaws and stuff like that? Have you ever tried those?
I've never tried them.
No.
I could imagine though, that must be an absolute nightmare.
That's your Christmas present sorted. So thank you very much for those messages as well. I've had another question, if that's all right.
Of course.
From Alice. Craig, please, not related to this project, but what ink pad should I use in the CC Speciality Mirror Card, on the CC Speciality Mirror Card, I presume it means?
Rightio, so anything coated like that, a mirror card or a matte card or that, what you're actually going to need is you're going to have to use and do some heat embossing, because it's a non-porous surface. So any doing blending, any stamping, anything like that, it's just going to wipe away because it doesn't have anything to soak and dry into. So what you can do is use your stamp. So what you can do is use our watermark stamp or our Harmony pigment ink pads. Stamp your image, and then what you'll need to do is sprinkle it either with a coloured embossing powder or even just a white or a black so that you get that image. But to actually stamp with, you're going to have to do some heat embossing for it to stay in place. That's only if it's a coated card, likes of mirror card or matte card, that sort of stuff.
Perfect, thank
Satin
you.
card.
Good luck with that, Alice. Do send in your pictures. And speaking of pictures, let's have a little nosy at something that the lovely Jean's been creating.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That is astonishing.
That is gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. And that goes to show even some dies that have maybe got a little bit more intricate detail in some areas. If you've got the patience, like I do, to actually sit and do the paper piece and look at the result.
Yeah. That looks beautiful. And here's another one. Now that again, very, very inspirational. I love the way that you've added the dimensions on this, and that sentiment is so beautifully thoughtful to go along with the design. I think that's so it's enchanting actually, that one, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And then this opens up to the other tones of mediums that you can use. For instance, your Centura pearls, the colours that you get in Centura pearls that maybe you won't get within matte cardstocks. Yeah. So it looks incredible. I love that little bit of that moonlight and the drop shadow bit on the back behind the stags.
Magical, isn't it? And here's the final one for
Yeah.
now. That again, it's just, it feels almost otherworldly. It feels like something in kind of The Secret Garden or Alice in Wonderland. I love how you've done them. Oh, Jean Marie, thank you so much for sending those in. And don't forget, you can send yours in as well. If you are crafting along, then do feel free to send them in on socials once you've finished your make. This is how you can get involved with us, so do feel free to do so. And if you are brand new, welcome, hi. It's my first full day, so I'm new too. My name's Becky. Thank you for joining me. If you've never shopped with us before, I tell you what, it's so easy. And this is how you do it.
Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day.
Told you, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's how you get involved. You are tuning in, watching the craft along, and we are part of our way through, and we are going to be carrying on with our craft with the lovely Craig. Don't forget, these are the treats that we're working with right now, and if you do need to see them again, we'll have a little look in a bit. I've also got all of the other additional elements that you'll need in a moment or two, but for now, let's carry on crafting.
Let's do it. Let's now dive right in and let's do what it's all about, and that's the paper piecing. So instantly, the way that I do it, my favourite way and the easiest way in my opinion is using our tacky glue. So you can, if you've only got the actual main applicator bottle, you can be using that one, no problem at all. If you've got the mini applicator, then that's going to be slightly easier for you. You might have something like quickie glue pens, gel pens, anything like that that's the adhesive pens. If you've got them instead, absolutely fine, as long as it is a glue and adhesive. So what we can then do is very much similar to being painting by number sort of aspect. Because what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our glue, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and we're going to start onto the petals. I'm going to give it just a little bit of a colour in. And I'm not making sure that it's entirely flat, anything like that. I'm making sure that we get a nice coating all the way throughout the main petal, even to the sides. Because what you need to remember is when we pop the petal into place, it's going to even out the glue and it's going to nicely push it towards the end. Any that does seep out, you don't need to worry, because our tacky glue and most white glues do dry clear, like a PVA glue. Let's do a couple at a time, or 4 at a time. Now that we've started to put our adhesive in, what we can then do, maybe you want to use tweezers if you want. Things this size, I find just as easy to use my fingers. So we can simply pop them into place, and we're going to press. We're just going to give it a little bit of a shuggle about, just so it sits nicely into the middle. And we're going to carry on working all the way along. You're making sure it just slots into place. You feel it, it just snugly sits in place. And we can carry on working our way around. And this is what I was me and Becky when I was saying these dies that we've got on the show, these are the perfect ones for paper piecing. Because they're not overly small, but do you know what I mean? You still get that really nice effect when it comes to doing the paper piecing. But working our way in, following it all the way around, and because it's tacky glue, as I say a moment ago, any little bits of white glue that just pop out, just give them a bit of a wipe away, and then what would happen is they would dry clear. But we can then go back into the remaining bits, and what we're doing is what I've done a moment ago. We're going in and we're going to do a little bit of a colour, just making sure we go near to the edge, if not right up to the edge. And that's just going to enable us to get that nice even coating of glue. And what will happen is once we press the cardstock into place, it flattens out. So there we go. So we're just finishing off and we're just doing exactly like that. Have you done much paper piecing before, Becky?
I have tried it once and once alone, because I have a very hyperactive dog and a very mischievous cat, who, the cat in particularly, as soon as she sees me going for my cardstock, all of a sudden, no mum, I don't need to sleep anymore.
Gotcha.
I will be here, I will be on your lap. Or you're cutting something out, or you're picking something up, I'll help. So I had one attempt and one attempt only. But I have got these types of dies with the raised edges, and I colour them in or ink them in, or I emboss them in and things like that. So I've tried it once, and maybe I need to have another go, just when the cat and dog are out.
When they're not there.
Out of the room.
It's typical that, isn't it? That, you know, whatever animal you've got, as soon as they hear that opening of your craft stash or your cardstock or rustling or that, it's like there, awake.
Oh yeah, it's like Christmas Day. I have actually had a question for you just that's kind of related to what you're up to now, and it's in from Dale. Hey up Dale, how are you? Dale says, Craig, is there a trick to picking up the little pieces with the pokey tool?
There is indeed. Someone's already just thinking ahead.
Well
that
done,
we're
Dale.
away to show you just in a moment or two. Let's take these ones here. Now what you can do if you want, so I'm going to give you the trick with the pokey tool. If I've still got one to hand, have I still got what I was about to talk about? I don't think so. What you do get out there in the market, and you've seen me on Facebook Lives using it, it just looks like a white pencil. It's just a white pencil, and the lead inside, it's not actually lead, it's just white. And what it is, it's not tacky, but it picks up any gems or bits of paper, anything like that. You could be using one of them. Now, if you're wanting to obviously do this right now, maybe you don't want one of these pencils, what to do is just use your pokey tool. And what you can do, let's get all these little bits back into place. And I want to make sure that they are the right way, because then this makes this next bit easier. We can then go into any of these little areas that we've still got a little bit of glue. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap the end of my pokey tool into the glue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along and I'm going to pick it up. Can you see there that it's picked up the little piece? So then what I can do is I can go back in and I can just pop it into place. Now if you do get a little bit of a white glue mark, again, don't worry, give it a little bit of a wipe, it will dry clear. And then what we can do is sometimes you'll find there's still enough adhesive on your pokey tool. So we can then go back into place, pop them in, and we're going to take away any of that excess. We've still got this bit here as well, which is there. Let's see, it's not picking up there. So let's dab it into that little bit of glue. Come back into place. Give it a little bit of a press. Press it into place, and if you need to use your fingers to maneuver it, you can do. But there is that top part of the flower by using the pokey tool. And then to finish that bit off, let's do this little bit here, here, and then here. And then once again, so either popping your pokey tool into your glue or put a tiny little bit onto your glass mat or your craft mat. So popping your pokey tool into place, picking it up, that you can see there, and then what we can do is we can just maneuver that into place. Because there's only a few, what I'm going to do is do them all, 3 of them, and then we can come back and we can just press it all in. So pop that one in, and then we can come along, dabbing it away, stabbing away any of the excess glue. You're also enabling it to pop in and just hold that little bit more. As it's tacky glue, it's going to grab it anyway. And then there is the first part of our paper piecing. And it's not one that takes overly long. You've seen that, you know.
Yeah.
It's that would be the speed that I do it at home, whether I'm sitting on the couch or sitting at my desk. I would do that at home. You've got a nice mixture of larger areas that makes you fill that area quicker, but then you've still got all these little bits as well. That's just adding that little bit of an accent detail. You could go one step further and you could then maybe bring in different shades of red, so you can maybe go darker. So it's kind of like you're doing your shading with your classics or tri-blends, but you're shading with cardstock. Think of all these different ways, wrapping paper, gift tags, anything that extras that you've got, die cut them and pop them back in. And I'm just wondering, Becky, or I'm just wondering with George Square in my ear, now that we've done that bit, should we take another wee break before we're going to the next bit? Yeah, do you think so? Rightio, not for long again, we'll come back in a minute.
We'll give you a little bit of a chance to carry on crafting. Let's have a little look at what everybody else is saying. Hello to the lovely Kaz. Hi Kaz. Kaz says, I did this with the rose from the Rose Gold collection. Oh my gosh, I love those. For my mum's Mother's Day card. I made each rose twice. They were then the opposite of each other, so no wasted paper. Very therapeutic. That's so lovely, and it must have looked obviously like the reverse, so I bet that's got a real different feel to it. And again, no waste. There's something fab, isn't there, about when you're a crafter and you use absolutely everything.
Yes.
We were saying actually, weren't we, the other week about you get sort of a box delivered and you save the box because you may well need that box at some point. Or you get like a nice, you know, I got sent to me a while ago some chocolates that came in like this big plastic container. It was a really unusual shape. I was like, I'm going to keep that.
Absolutely.
Painted it, turned it into a bowl. Oh, I love it
Perfect.
all, I love it all. That's a really good point. Thank you for that message. Hello to Tammy. I love that name. It says, I love a lot of books, but I would probably say my favourite is a young reader's childhood book. That is out of print now, darn. Called The Witch's Bridge. Ooh, I've never heard of that one. Have you heard of that?
No, no.
The Witch's Bridge.
There's a lot of books I've not heard, eh?
Yeah, yeah, me too. I wonder what, if you imagined the story of the Witch's Bridge, what do you think it would be about?
I could imagine, you know, like that story, the Billy Goat's Gruff. with
That's
the goats
exactly what I
underneath,
was thinking.
but the witch is underneath.
Exactly what I was thinking. It's like one mind.
Yeah.
Shared.
there you go. Yeah, we don't want to be sharing our mind. Well, I can't say that for you, Becky, but knowing what's in my mind and that, if you're saying that's two the same, maybe not.
Gloria's got a message for you, Craig. Is that sticky paper? She's asked.
So the
black isn't it?
The black outline.
The
So the black outline, what we've done is we used our black self-adhesive cardstock. If you don't have any of that, you can make your own and pop your self-adhesive sheets on the back of your black cardstock. Alternatively, all you need to do is die cut this one out into black cardstock. Maybe use your dotty tape runner or maybe use your sprays for the back to pop it into place. But this was a black card that had self-adhesive on the back already.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Okay, let's carry on with some of those in a little bit. Before it, let me let you know that we've got different options for you to get your outline dies. And in fact, we've just had lovely Melissa in, and Melissa's saying, I'm going to attempt this. I've never done it before, but I have the Kingfisher die, so I'm sure that will look good. Well, this is the great thing, Melissa, isn't it? When you're working with different shapes, different ideas, different looks, you can create something that maybe hasn't been created before. So do have fun with that. And if you, like Melissa, have that idea in mind, let me show you the sort of smaller packages, if you will, of this. So this one's first. This is the Butterfly Garden. And the In Floral Bloom as well that you're going to be getting with this one. And you're getting the succulents in there too. So those three are in together. Big saving on those ones as always. Next collection here is a little birdie. And that's with the majestic hummingbird and the butterflies as well that are dancing away there. And you're getting that again for another great saving. But if you're thinking, I don't want to pick and I want to bargain, this is the way to do it. You have got the 50 elements within this, including those sentiment stamps as well. Your pricing today in the UK should be nearly £140. You're only looking at $53.96 today, or $67.36. If you want to grab it that way, then you can. Now, the next element I'm going to bring to you is so low in stock. I'm afraid we couldn't bring it to you in the collection because there just wasn't enough of them. So this is one you can't grab in the collection, but I know it's one that's going to make you smile. This one here is the Bee, and this is your beautiful or Be Happy range. You have got, those are going to go great with the hexagonal boxes that we had on the Wake Up this morning. So if you did get the hexagonal boxes, these would be great for that, wouldn't they? So you're going to be getting all of those, $8.99, and this is the tool collection. This is your tool kit. This is the must-haves for what you've been crafting, including the likes of the scissors, including the paper, of course, that we've been using with the adhesive. You've got your acetate, you've got everything you need in there, including your craft knife, and you're getting your glues as well in there, just to keep you stocked up. So if you are running low on any of those things, always worth grabbing them. So do feel free to treat yourself to those now. So now that we've had a little nosy at those, don't forget you can keep your messages coming in. Keep crafting along. Let us know how it's going. If you've got any questions, do get in touch. For now though, let's carry on, shall we?
We are going to do that. We're going to carry on, and we're going to finish it as well. Not much more to do with that. We're just going to do the paper piecing for the leaves, and we'll just pop it onto our card with the sentiment, and we're good to go.
Great.
So what we're doing, no different to what I was doing before. We're going to go in and we're going to pop our glue, so we can go all the way into place. Sometimes as well, I find that this bit can be the therapeutic bit as well. It's nice just having that outline as a guide, and you're going in with the little nozzle from your applicator and you're popping these in. I have, while Becky was speaking a moment ago, I did run across to our corner, to our classiques, and I got the colour grass, just so I can do a little dot where that little bit is pinged out the way, and we can infill that. So we are fine. I think I've got everything that I need there. So let's just pop our pin back in. There we go. So these bits, let's use our fingers because, not that one, Craig. There we go. I find it easier to pop these ones in with my fingers. As we were saying earlier on, you might find it easier to do the tweezers when it comes to paper piecing, and certainly when it comes to the smaller bits if you use your pokey tool. Pop it into a bit of glue. We'll do that again in a moment to show you, and then you can use that to get all these little bits into place. So let's press all that one in. We can then pop that one into place too, and we can go into place. And what I want to say as well, Becky, is say you wanted to paper piece this bit, which is green, and maybe because that's all that you were doing, you don't necessarily have to use a full bit of green cardstock. Maybe you've got a little bit of green cardstock and you can just pop it underneath the die where you need it to be. You don't have to cut the full die. Some people think when it comes to die cutting, you know, it's a must. You have to cover the full die. You don't. Certainly your Gemini will be absolutely fine. If there's bits with cardstock, bits without, it's absolutely fine. So if you've got little bit, we've all got our bit box of cardstock. Yeah. So we can just die cut what bits we need, and that's going to use them all up. But we can then come along with all these little bits, and we're going to pop this bit into place. So now what I'm going to do is let's go in to these little bits that I've got here. So let's make sure, let's dab it into a bit of the glue, and then we pop in this one in. So we can then pop that into place. We can then come in, I'm just wanting to make sure I've got it the right way. So let's bring it into place. So there we go, and then that is going to go into that one. Press that in, and then last but not least, let's make sure that one is the right way, and then we can just maneuver it into place. And then this bit here that I've lost, that's pinged away, what we could do is come along with our classic pen, this one being the green, the grass green, and I'm going to dab the colour into place. Now straight away from up above, what we're going to do is, what I'm away to do just in a moment now, just you don't know, Becky's getting bits and pieces sorted for coming up in a moment, so she's not seen what I just done there. So George, can we go for camera up above? And Becky, can you tell where that little bit was that's missing and I've coloured it in?
In all honesty, do you want the honest truth?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
There you go.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
So if you do miss little bits, if you can't find little bits, don't worry, use a Classique, a Tri-Blend, any other colour medium that you've got at home to kind of match, and it's a nice way just to cover it up. You might want to go and take another bit of card to do that little bit. You can do, use a pen, no one's going to know. So here we are, so this is now our complete paper piece. How lovely is that one? Really nice, really simple and effective. So what we can do is, before we even start to assemble that one, let's bring in a piece of our cardstock. So this one was just a bit of an off-cut piece that I used earlier on. And what we're going to do is bring in our guillotine, because we're going to stamp our sentiment to finish it off. So I want to have a little strip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this to 2.5 inches. So let's pop our cardstock to 2.5 inches up to here. And then I'm going to turn it around. Now when it comes to the guillotine, I'm going 1/2 inch. So I know that it's where the silver line is. So we're going to cut. So here is our little piece that we're going to do our sentiment on. I'm not going to move my guillotine just yet, because we'll use it briefly in a moment. Let's bring in our, now I had my stamping platform here and here. And the reason, I've already, of course, because I made the card, pre-measured the size that I need, because we're going to use Thinking of You. But this is where you've got these different stamps, these different sentiments that you've got. So you could use a few different ones, but let's stick with Thinking of You. And I'm using my quick dry. So popping that onto our platform, layering it on, bringing our black in. And as I was saying earlier, where you might want to change bits, you might want to use a red or a green. Maybe you don't want to use black. That's up to yourself. And then we're going to press that into place. So once I've got that where I need, we've got Thinking of You. So we can then move this to the side. And then lastly, but not least, but before we assemble it, another strip, black of cardstock that came from earlier on. We're going to do a tiny bit of matting and layering. So we can bring our tape runner. Let's pop this into place. And I'm going to leave a couple of millimeters all the way around. You choose if you want it bigger, if you want, maybe you don't want a matting layer. That's up to yourself. So this is how I do my thin, well, one of two ways how I do my thin layers. Sometimes I will do it so it's got 1/4 inch matting layer all the way around, then trim it. Sometimes I'll do it this way. So now that all that I'm going to do is I'm going to trim along. So you're going to look just into here where my finger is. I want to make sure I've got a couple of millimeters. Have a look. Always do little and often. And certainly when you're cutting, you can take away, but you can't add.
Add it on.
There we go. Let's do one little bit more. I'll be happy with that one. Oh, there. And then we'll cut along here. So turning it around, pop it along. Let's pop it into place. So I'm having a look. I know you can't quite see it from up above, but I'm just making sure. So if I tip it that way, I'm making sure that the edge of my black card is just about at the actual guillotine. And that's going to give us that nice couple of mils. Straighten that on up. And then here we go. We've got a really small matting layer, which is optional. And then let's bring all this back together again, and we can then assemble it. So let's bring in our layer. So let's bring this one in. This one we're going to pop onto our tape runner, or pop it onto our card with our tape runner. Make sure we've got a nice adhesive over the back. Let's set that into place. So we're getting that pattern paper just poking out all the way around. Let's bring in either your glue gel or a foam pad. Pressing this one in, and then what we can do it any way that you want to do. It's because this one is a larger card, you could do it a bit further down. And I think to show that you can do it whatever way that you want, let's do it. Let's just change it slightly to what we originally done, and then there we go.
Beautiful.
That is our finished craft along project where it comes to paper piecing.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much for showing us that, and well done to you if you've been getting involved with it. Oh, that just looks fabulous.
It's nice, isn't it? I was really chuffed with how that turned out, really chuffed. And I know that for anyone that struggles with paper piecing, I know that this one specifically would help. It would enable you to then find your comfort in paper piecing. For anyone that's experienced and just love doing paper piecing, then you know that you were able to craft along with us. The whole idea about it. So there we go. That's how we, and I certainly like to do my paper piecing for anyone that needed to know.
Do keep on crafting along. We have got a good amount of time, you know, we've still got another sort of, let's say 20 minutes, half an hour for you to send in your pictures. So if you're still making, don't worry about it. Carry on crafting, and then you can send in your pictures, because we would love to see them and love to share them. And also it's really nice because I'm sure that it's lovely for you to share your creativity, right? So do feel free. I've got everything you need to be able to create that and more coming up for you right here, right now. I just want to remind you what you're getting in this collection. So 50 pieces in total. It's including the dies and the stamps. You're getting absolutely oodles in there. This is the one we've just used, your pretty petals. You're also getting your butterfly garden. You've got the majestic hummingbird. I've also got the dancing butterflies, and you've got your succulents in there too. I want to show you a bit more inspiration, because if you're anything like me, I'm a real sort of visual learner. Are you? These are some more details and designs that we've got here. This one, I absolutely love the way it's been used with the metallics there. I think it just gives another layer. And this one, get ready. This is something I would have as a real keepsake. This is by Jan. Hi, Jan. This is sensational. And again, you've got a few of the sentiments in here too. I love how it's been used with the watercolour card itself. I think that looks fab. And you've got those beautiful colours in there as well as the glitter in it. So all of those treats and treasures in there. And if you want the biggest discount, that's how you will get them. You'll get them in that pack of 50. Of course, you can get them in those sets of 3s too, if there's just a few that are speaking to you. Whichever way you get them, don't forget, great time to grab them whilst you can. Let me remind you, the one that we wanted to put in the collection, but we just couldn't, was the bee. The reason we couldn't is because it was really, really limited stock. So this bee one is just wonderful. You're getting the lovely outline of the bee on the hive, or the honeycomb creation station, if you will. And you're getting the lovely sentiments in here as well. So you've got lots of different details and textures in here. Do you know what? As it's open, let me just have a little look at what we're saying in here. Which ones have we got? You've got in here, oh, you've got lovely, you've got Be Mine, Be, funny, Be Mine, you've got Happy Birthday, and you've got absolutely Queen Bee, for example. You've got Be Happy, Behave Yourself, ooh, Behive. What's that from? Oh, Behive. Huh?
Beehive.
No, oh, Behave.
Oh, behave.
Is it Austin Powers? I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's off of something from the 80s. But anyway, that is the bee collection. Very limited. And when I say very limited, I've got a handful of those left. So if you do want to get ready for your summer makes, that's the one for you. Let me bring to you something that I think is going to make you smile from ear to ear. If you are a little bit of a twitcher, or you are somebody who absolutely loves and adores getting out in your garden, I have got for you a collection to inspire. Let's start off with some of your birds in this collection, if we may. You are getting your outline toppers, 5-pack collection here. Really nice sizable pieces, as you can see. This one here is your wonderful blue tit. You have also got your floral arrangement. I think this one's going to be a lovely, intricate one, actually, for your design. Here, I've got for you your bee collection. Now, this one is, as I said before, this one is called Beautiful Bees. And hang on, has that gotten mixed up? I think it has. Ignore that. Ignore that. That's for this one. It's going to buzz off. There we go. I've also got for you the bold butterfly. This one is really statement, and I think you're going to have fun, maybe even colouring that in or inking. That's going to be great. And you're getting your decorative heart as well in this collection. And I feel like there is one more. Where is it? It's your bloom. Where are you? We're going to find a picture of it for you because I cannot see it alongside me. Here it is. There's the picture. So they're the ones that you're going to be getting. So you've got plenty of treats. Let me show you a little bit of inspiration, if I may, because I tell you what, these are going to make you smile. This one is by Mel. Hello, Mel. This I absolutely adore. This one's again using the watercolour card in this one. And I absolutely adore how you've got almost that 3D effect from it. It's stunning, that, isn't it? We have got similar sort of floral design here, but with this one, we've gone for much bolder colours. Again, really pretty designs here. This is the butterfly one, which I think if you are into your metallics, if you love something to just grab the eye when you open a card, oh, it's that iridescence, isn't it, that you're getting with this. It's giving you almost those peacock tones. I think that is going to be a lot of fun to be able to create at home. And because these pieces are quite large all over, obviously you've got a few little intricate bits, but because they're quite large all over, it's going to be, you're not going to be too fingers and thumbs with that, I don't think. Here is the blue tip, which is the great thing because it's called blue tip, but as you can see here, just by using slightly different colours, it's a completely different bird really, isn't it? Oh, you could make it into a phoenix or a bird that doesn't even exist. That'd be wonderful. So yes, these are just some pieces of your wonderful inspiration. That's one with the heart there. Oh, come back to me. Thank you. On that one's on acetate as well. So we've got loads of treats for you there. If you do want to grab those ones, then you absolutely can. I have got for you as well on the show some stained glass windows. Now, we did give you a little bit of a sneak peek of these on the wake up call, and we did a demonstration. I say we, I didn't. I just sat there like this. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Craig did a lovely demo for you using these ones. So if you did miss that, don't you forget that it is fabulously available for you to view at your leisure online. You're going to be getting in this one, Kingfisher window. You're going to get the windmill, the single lily, as well as the land and sea in that collection. So you're going to be getting all of those ones, and you're going to be getting the cards as well. So you've got the base cards and the envelopes, the rectangular apertures, etc. in there. So you can feel free to treat yourself to all of those. And then one final set of goodies for now, let me bring to you the Annabelle Spencely range, which I think, you know how there are some ranges that when you look at them, it just makes you want to smile. I feel like this is that range. These really are wonderful, wonderful pieces. This is your Annabelle Spencely range. Have a little look at these ones. You've got your wonderful different characters in here, and you've got serious amount of sentiments. I feel like these really have no age limit on them. But for me personally, they are possibly for people, you know, who are maybe, you know, whether you're 4 years old to 24, I think you can really be appreciating these, especially if you've got a bit of a shopaholic in your family. I think we probably all have those. And then you've also got the wonderful Great Outdoors one as well here. You're not just getting those, you're getting absolutely oodles in here, as I've said, including the likes of a little cheerleader here, and you're getting just so much, so many goodies. And let me just give you a little bit of inspo as usual. Here you are. This one is adorable. It's beautiful, that, isn't it? It makes you want to go and play outside, doesn't it? When's the last time you went on a swing set? Ages. But yeah, you've also got this one here. I think that's really lovely for like a prom or maybe someone's birthday. Possibly this could be something because she's there with her lovely little bag and her pretty shoes. If you've got any handbag lovers in your family, that's a great card for them. So again, that collection for you should be in the UK nearly £30. It's $14.75 if you're getting it today, and it's $20.95 for you. So if you do want to treat yourself to those ones, I think especially with, fingers crossed, us maybe being able to see each other again soon and go out shopping and go and do our hobbies, this could be a really nice card collection for you. And this is what we're actually going to be crafting with in Craig's Corner. Hi, Craig.
Hello.
Craig, can you tell me what your favourite thing about this collection is?
The way you can colour them.
Yeah.
And that might sound silly, but do you know something actually? Very similar to the dies that we've been doing paper piecing. What you've got is a lot of bigger areas for you to colour in, and then the small detailed areas, they're not overly small, overly complicated to colour. It's nice, it's one of those, you know when you see a colouring book and it's big blocks that you can just sit and colour in.
Yeah.
That's what I love about these ones as well. And obviously with stamps, what you can do is colour theme them. But I thought what we're going to do with this one is we're going to carry on with this. And now I've kind of confused a couple of people over the last couple of days. We're going to paper piece, but with stamps.
Oh, I'm confused.
You're confused,
Yeah.
right, Theo? What we're going to do is I've taken already a die cut piece. So this is taken from one of our nesting dies. And what we're going to do is I've got my stamp already layered up onto my block, and I'm using Lovely Lady for this one here. So what we can do is stamp it. I have got one that's slightly pre-coloured because we're not going to do colouring, it's all about the paper piecing, because hopefully we've still got half an hour, so there's no reason why I could even get in another demonstration after this. But what we're going to do, Becky, is press that into place. It is an alcohol ink pad that I'm using, because what you would do is come along and colour bits in, as you will see in a moment. So let's stamp this one out here. So let's remove that one out the way. And this is exactly what I mean. Do you see what I mean by they're good sizable areas to colour? So that's what we've stamped there. Now what you would then do is you would then colour in selected areas. Oh. So this one I've coloured in our face and also our hair, giving it just a little bit of a nice shadow all the way round. So I'm going to pop this to the side because I don't need this. This is what we're going to use. What we now need to do is let's bring in any pattern paper that you want to choose at home. So I've gone from this one from our contemporary watercolour card. So let's bring in our stamp once again, and we are going to stamp her up with that same ink, still our alcohol ink. Although we are not going to be colouring anything in, I'm still just using my alcohol ink. And then what we're going to do is we're going to press. So press that one into place. And then at the bottom, because this one's double-sided, what I have done is I've trimmed that one off and flipped it on the reverse. So we've got a deep blue here. Because what I'm then going to do is, once again, just press. So we've now got, I know it's slightly harder for you to see, but you can see the impression of her onto there. So let's bring in this bit here. Now what I want to do for this one is I only want to stamp out our hat. So what we can do is stamp up our hat, and I'm going to pop that just so it's covered our patterned paper. So we're then going to stamp that one out. We've now got the top of our head, but all that we are wanting is the hat. So then what we can do is we can bring in one of my other favourites, and that's our tiny little scissors. So what I'll do is, let's explain it on this one here. So I'm wanting our hat. So I'm going to cut our hat out, and I'm not even going to do this top part. What I'm doing is just the base of the hat. So we're going to go in, and we're going to start fussy cutting. Now I'm doing it, and I'm cutting it to the right-hand side of the black line, because once I've cut it out, I still want to see the outline of the black. So I'm doing it just to the right hand side. I always have to think of left and right hand side.
I'm exactly the same.
Georgine's just said, do you put your hands up? No, but I do. If you ever see me saying left or right, just before that, what you'll see is me move a hand. So I'll move my left, so I'll go, so I'm cutting on, and I'll move my hand, so I know that's left, and then I'll go to the right.
Got you.
I just have to do that mental left, and then on
yeah,
the other
no,
hand.
I can't tell my left from my right either. And people say to me, "Oh, if you put up your hands, then it's an L is an L."
An L,
but the thing
yeah.
is, I'm dyslexic, so
Right.
both of those could be an L to me at some point. So yeah, it doesn't work for me. In my driving test, I had to have left and right written on my hands.
Did you?
Yeah, so that when the driving instruction said, when it said take the next left, all right, yep, okay. I'm glad it's not just me, Craig.
No, I have to do that all the time with my left and right, always. But carrying on, I'm following this all the way around. And when it comes to all the little curves, the little swirls in her hair, don't worry too much. So I'm going to go back to the beginning because it's easier for me. So what I'm going to do once again, is I'm going to follow in and I'm going to cut. And this is where I say, don't worry about the little curls. What I'm wanting is I'm wanting the actual base of our hat. So we're going to go in and then we're going to follow this all the way right. Now this time, don't want to confuse you, but because I'm cutting this way, I'm now cutting onto the left hand side. The key thing that you want to do, and I'll explain that just in a minute, is once we've cut this out, we want to get our image and we want to still see a black outline.
I see.
So that's the main thing. So just make sure when you're cutting in with that black outline so we can still see it. So that's going to be our hat. Now I'm not going to cut out loads and loads here, but what I am going to do is let's do just a little bit of our dress. So I'm going to very quickly going to fussy cut this bit out of our dress. So I don't need our actual bare arm. I need to come up, I need our little sleeve. I need into our other sleeve, and then we can cut away this excess. So once again, then part of the reason I don't want to spend too much time on this one, because it is a little bit hard for you to see screen through a screen through a screen.
Yeah.
Similar to what exactly the same as to what I've done a moment ago. I'm following the black line, and what I am doing is I'm following the line of the part that I want to keep. So on this occasion, it's our full dress. I'm following the line, and I'm going to work all the way around.
And it is a lovely dress, isn't it? It's very sort of Carrie Bradshaw, I think, this one.
And that's the thing where you think, if you're like me, the abundance of paper pads you've got at home. You know, if you're like Christine Mahoney, who's a follow of ours, and she buys like 9 12 by 12 paper pads at a time because she loves them so much.
Yeah.
So you've got your pattern paper. So you've got that pattern there. You don't need to colour. You don't need to do anything. Just do your bit of paper piecing. So what we can do is we can work our way around. Now I said I wasn't going to do this full one, but it's actually not taking long at all. So cut in, following around. So I'm following the outline of our dress. So even into place here. I don't want our arms. What we can do is follow it round so we've got the shoulder of our dress. We are going to go down into the neck of our dress, and we're snipping it out. And then the best way I could explain when doing paper piecing, you might want to actually move your hand with the scissors. Try not to. Keep your hand with your scissors still. The only thing that you're doing is closing the scissors. Keep your hand still and you're moving the hand with your cardstock. So you can see that I'm actually moving my hand that's on my cardstock. So we can go in, we can snip that away. So we're starting to build this one up. I need to go back into this bit and snip that bit away and snip that bit away into place. So if we take this one, tiny little bit more in there, and then now this, instead of colouring, this is going to replace colouring in her dress. So that's our dress, that is our hat. Now I do have a couple of others already good to go. So you can see we've got that one and we've got that one. What I do need to do very quickly, remember we've done our hat?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is let's now roughly cut out that top bit of our hat, and we're going to do the same. So let's take this one, cut along, follow that outline, and then we're going to bring in your adhesive of choice. I'm going to use my PVA glue once again. So we've got that one, and then what I'm also going to do, I'm not going to do it, but I'll explain. See, you know how you've got our little bow that's here? Stamp that bit of the bow onto, I tell you what, let's just go for it, Becky.
Yeah, why not?
Let's stamp this one in, press, and then what you would then do is come along and just fussy cut that bow out.
Lovely.
Which is then going to give you this nice little bow.
Fab.
All that you're doing is you're picking out the elements that you want to paper piece. So we've got our dress, we've got our hat, the top bit of our hat, and also our bow.
I'm so excited to see this.
So let's
I feel a
bring-
bit giddy. I'm like, just put it on.
Hurry up, Craig. Be quiet.
I need to see it.
And we're going to pop our glue. Now it could be our sprays, it could be our dotty tape runners, up to yourself. But we can pop our glue on, popping it flat. And now what we're doing is we're paper piecing it back in to place. This is why I say don't worry about the swirls over here, because it's still going to be caught up, it's still going to be seen once you paper piece. You might want to put your glue direct on, which you can do. So let's pop that there, press that into place. Let's do our dress on this one. So go in, into place. This is where now as well, if you want to add a little bit of shape, maybe you want to lift our dress.
Please continue that sentence instantly.
Maybe you want to lift our dress up with foam pads or glue gel.
Right.
Oh, it's one of those, when you know what you're way to go into when you said it. So let's press that in. So we've now got her dress nice and flat, and then with our little bow or our ribbon, all that I'm doing is putting a wee dab of glue into the middle, and then we're going to paper piece the bow back in.
I love it.
And then I'm going to press with my pokey tool for the glue to grab, and what's happening is that's lifting the bow up. And then there we go. We've gone from a plain image, little bit of colouring, nothing stopping you paper piecing the hair. Maybe you've got some brown textured cardstock at home that you want to do instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to assemble this one. All that I've done is another layer on silver mirror card. Some of the coordinated background cardstock or papers, which then popping into place is then going to look like this using one of the sentiments that's also on the set. You can see lifting up the bow there. So that's how we can do some paper piecing when it comes to our stamps.
I am absolutely in love. I've never thought, how have we never thought of doing that before? That's genius.
Good idea, eh?
Well, I'm actually getting home at midnight approximately tonight. I may well be doing that till 2 in the morning.
Oh, I want to see pictures.
That's fab. Let me just have a little reminder of what you're getting in here. If you loved the design that we've just made, it was this one, the Lovely Lady. This is the one that Craig has just crafted with. You've also got in this one the Have Fun. This is the Born to Shop Lady. So if you do have any shopaholics in your life, that's the one. Enjoy the Adventure. I think that's a beautiful one, isn't it? We've also got the Love You This Much, and I have to say this could be my producer Georgina's one today actually, because it's got a little hot chocolate. Hot chocolate warms the heart, and she was having a good sup on a hot chocolate earlier on this afternoon. As well as that, you have got your birthday cheers with the lovely cheerlead dancer there, and you've also got your all dressed up for any of those glamazons. All of those. You don't have to pick your favourite one. You don't have to say, right, which one will I use most? All of them, just £14.75 or $20.95 for you today, which is astonishing. If you're anything like me and you, back when you could go to your local crafting stores, you'll know easily that for a singular pack, you can be paying £10, £20 just for a pack like that. I think that's fantastic and such a great technique we've just learnt there. Oh, I'm inspired. Okay, let's have a little nosy at what you've been up to, shall we? And don't forget, you can send in your pictures of your craft along. If you so wish, we'll be having a look at them in a little bit. But for now, where was I up to last time? We talked about that. Oh, Melissa says, I'm going to attempt this. Oh, you're going to attempt it with the stamps. That's a great idea. We have got Susan saying, really enjoy the craft along. Craig is a wonderful teacher. Oh, that's true. Rebecca, you are just perfect. A pleasure to watch. Oh, you're doing a grand job. Oh, Susan, that's dead nice. Oh, thank you. That's lovely. Did have to check that was Susan and not me mum. It was Susan. Thanks, Susan. V is say, love colouring these. I completely agree with you. I love colouring it as well. I love colouring stamps. Karen says, I've just got the Anisette. They are so cute. Looking forward to using them with my alcohol markers with this. I think they're going to look brilliant with your alcohol markers, so enjoy. Sharon is saying, this is going to be my go-to show. Amazing. Oh, that's lovely. It's a brilliant format, I have to say.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what it is, it's pretty much is completely different to what we do at Crafters Companion, you know, and it's about you and following along with us. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and it's so nice that, you know, I can almost imagine you at home making it. I just wish I was here with my Gemini and we're doing it with you. We've had another message saying, this is Sharon H saying, wow, I've never thought about paper piercing with stamps before. That's awesome, Craig. I completely agree with you there. We have had Cindy in saying, this is just a great way to use the stamps. It really is genius, isn't it? Debbie is saying, I have all of these stamps. I think I'm going to go crazy with the paper piercing idea. Thank you, Craig. Craig, with this technique, would you say that stamps with larger areas are a little bit easier to do?
Absolutely, yeah. Anything that is a larger area is going to be easier to do, but don't be put off by really small, intricate stamps or areas. Of course, if you have trouble or issues with that, then you might steer away from it. If you like doing your paper piece and you're cutting out, then if you do really, really small, intricate, it can look phenomenal just by a little bit of time and patience as well. But yeah, of course, when it comes to larger areas, it is going to be a bit easier and a bit less time consuming.
We have got the card of the show, or craft of the show, coming up for you now. So, the craft along, we've got the craft along card. What have we got over there, Craig?
So, what am I waiting to do in a moment?
Oh, the craft along and the Annabelle Spencely,
Yes.
I see. So, those are the ones that we're picking between. There's a choice of two. Have a little nosy. If you want to have a little refresh, you've got two to choose from. Text us in, or message us in, sorry, should I say, on socials, and let us know which one of these you want to win for the one. So it's the craft along or it's the Anna. So it's absolutely up to you. Which one do you fancy? Get us in on socials. Now, if you are quite new to us, don't forget that if you are new, you get 20% off your first order. So this could be a great show to get involved with. Also, don't forget, we have our Club Inspire, which gives you even more savings on top of our already fantastic savings. Here is a little bit more info about them.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now, on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money-saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the Crafty makes. We'll send you a completely free quarterly Digimag direct into your inbox, giving you lots of hints, tips, inspiration, additional offers and some sneaky behind-the-scenes gossip from the team. So what are you waiting for? Become a member of our club today.
We have got loads of you voting for which card you're picking. I'm not going to say which one's in the lead, but do get your vote in if you wish. And don't forget, we'll be looking at some of your craft alongs really soon. If you've just tuned in, hi, how are you? My name's Becky. It's my pleasure to be with you today, and I'm joined by the, quite frankly, ridiculously inspirational Craig, who's had me here. Like, do you ever get that crafting need? I'm sort of stood here thinking about the stamps I've got at home, and I'm like, where is that one? Is that the one that's in the crafting cupboard or under the crafting bed? So I know what I'll be doing later on today. I have got for you a serious amount of your stamps and of your cutters, your die cutters, and we're going to be having another demo in a moment or two. So let me just remind you what you're getting in this collection here. It is your outline topper collection, and you're getting 5 of these ones. So these are what you're going to be getting. You've got your wonderful butterfly. Come here, you, flying away. You've got your butterfly design here, that's your bold butterfly. I've also got your blue tit, which is the one that you can see on the card alongside me. You've got your ditzy blooms here too, and you're going to be getting your decorative heart as well as your wonderful florals as well. So these are all what you're getting today, £25.98 or $29.90, with a massive saving today, over £30 here in the UK. So if you do fancy grabbing them, now's your chance. Shall we get crafting? Let's do it. Craig, we're going to be crafting with some of these, aren't we?
We are indeed. We're going to go with the love heart for this one. So I'm going to skip out the actual die cutting because it's exactly the same as you would die cut any other dies. What I have done beforehand is to make it also a bit quicker. I've ran through the die cut heart using my Xyron machine, but you could be using your sprays or your dotty tape runner. But basically what we're going to be left with is we want a die cut that is nice and sticky on the back that you can see here. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to pop this onto a piece of our white, this is our white smooth stamping card for this one.
Okay.
And although we are going to be colouring with our alcohol pens, usually what you would find is when it comes to our alcohol pens, we would say to use our Nina cardstock, which you can, but I'm not actually going to be doing any blending or shading. I'm only going to lay down the colour. So what I've done is I've popped that die cut piece onto a piece of our white smooth stamping card, and now I'm cutting it all the way round so that I've got a base. As Megan Trainor always says, it's all about the base. So we need
Amen.
to go, absolutely. So we're
My
gonna
life motto.
Is that all about the base?
No, it's not my life motto,
No.
but
Could be.
could
It's
be.
a good motto.
I've not got any tattoos. It could be a good tattoo.
I don't actually. I don't either.
Do you not?
Nope.
No?
No, none at all. Now what we've gone for is our classic pens. So I've got coral blend, citrus blend and orange blend. Now it doesn't really matter about the blend because what I'm doing is I'm just using the bright colour from each one.
Okay.
And now what we're going to do, now I don't want you to panic on this bit because this is kind of another, hopefully this will be like a wow factor for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick out some areas, and this one I'm using the bright orange. Now what I'm doing is I'm colouring in the gaps. So we're going all the way in. And I can already at home hear you shouting, going, Craig, it's white cardstock, you're going way over the lines. That's just going to be a mess. It's going to be
I'll be honest, it is making me feel a little bit tense.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit messy. You think, Craig, if you're going to do it, at least do a black outline instead of a white. But no, let's not do that at all.
We've got faith in you.
I'm glad someone does. I'm glad someone does. But here we are, we're going to colour in. It's not often I hear that a lot, Becky.
Oh no, full faith. I know this is going to end up amazing.
It will, trust me on that one. It's another one that I was like, wow, looks nice. So here we go. So I've done a little bit of this one. Let's now go into the citrus blend. And once again, what we're going to do is we're going to use the bright. And we're going to colour in. We're not blending, we're not shading, nothing like that, which you can do if you want, but we'll want to get that colour down. So as we go all the way in, into all of these little bits, and as we go on, it's looking more messy, but we're going to lay that colour down. And then last but not least, what we would do is we'll go into the coral blend. And let's also go with the lightest tone. And we're going to colour in these bits. all the way round. Let's just do a couple.
Are you a colour lover, Craig?
Recently, with lockdown and last year, I had to do the shielding for 12 weeks. The first time, right? I chose not to do it again when we were asked to. And I really got into my classic and tri-blend colouring when I was at home. Spent a lot of time just dedicated to trying to work on it, and I adore doing it. Love colouring, and I love doing that blending and shading.
That's great.
But this is what we're starting to do. So you'd carry on, and what would happen is it's going to look like that.
Ooh.
So it looks a bit like of a sunburst, but still it's a bit messy still. But what we're going to do first is into the middle, let's take a clear sparkle overlay, and we're going to give that a little bit of a sparkle. And you're still saying, Craig, that sparkle does nothing to the edges. Part makes the inside sparkle. What you would then do is die cut another one in white and pop the adhesive on that we've got here. We can then come along and we're going to overlap that into place. We're doing it bang centre over the top. That's going to cover all of those lines that you've gone over with your inks. Press that into place. And now how crisp and clean. That could be acetate. That could be like a stained glass effect if you wanted to. But that's giving you that crisp, clean. It's like a white embossed line that you've got all the way round. Why not? Let's do a couple of layers with foam pads. So let's go all the way round. And it's nice that you still see the white and you're still getting that bright white outline. This cardstock, incidentally, is the cardstock that is part of our Get It, Got It Good this week. And it's one of the double-sided. Press that into place. Now, we're not going to have time, but what I've done is layer that onto a box, and then there we go, by layering it up. So that's what we've done there, by colouring in with our tri-blends or any other medium that you've got, and then popping it on to your box with a bow or a gem, and then there we are. Another way to do some insert colouring with your alcohols when it comes to your outline dies or your topper dies. So there we go. So if we come a bit close up for you to see, and then there we are. So a nice alternative way when it comes to embossing.
I am filled with joy.
Nice, isn't it?
Oh, it's such a good technique. I love that.
Just hiding the workings.
And do you know what? We were mentioning this before when we were on a break. Sometimes there are those crafts that you need to be quite quick with. With that, you know, quick colouring, make it look beautiful. Ta-da!
And yes, there's quick card making, but by the end you've not actually felt as though you've properly crafted, whereas that's quick, but you feel as though you've done something and achieved something. It's a nice way of doing it.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That's just wonderful. And speaking of sharing, you have been sending in your pictures of your craft along make, so thank you so much for that. We've had a fair few of you getting in touch with us. Should we have a little nosy? Let's.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Catherine.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps when I see what people have done.
Oh, I adore that completely.
Ah, absolutely gorgeous. Now, obviously, it was a different die to what we used.
Yeah.
But look at the effects. Still going the same one, same concept. Just stunning.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
Thank you so much for sending that in. I've got one in from Jill as well.
Look.
Wow, Jill. Jill says, I've not quite finished it yet, but I tell you what, that looks so professional. It could just be left there, couldn't it?
It could be, absolutely. She's obviously done it exactly the same way as I've done it. Oh, Jill, I love that one. Love it as well.
Thank you so much. This is Jennifer. Oh, do you know what? Oh, hey, up.
I know it's a bit of a telfie for you as well.
Oh, that's me in background. Hey, Mum, I'm on the telly. I'm going to take a picture of that for later. Jennifer, I adore this. Isn't it incredible how, using the same sort of techniques and design, but a different palette, it has a completely different feel?
Absolutely, it really does.
Jennifer, I absolutely adore that. I would be proud of that myself. Karen, ooh.
How striking does that one look?
Wow.
It really does. And that looks like it's bold of alcohol colour, where it's obviously paper piecing instead.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Karen, I adore that one. June, you're in with us.
Again, just gorgeous. And just changing it slightly to your personal taste. We're having the sentiment at the top, and that's the joy. You can do it whichever way you like. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, everyone that also took part at home and then sent their pictures in. It's so nice to see. I like to see, you know, it's nice. The time and the effort, because as you know, it takes a bit of time to prep all these shows, and it's so nice to see that you absolutely love them. It's always worthwhile, so brilliant.
And do you know what? It's so lovely too to know that you're at home crafting, because it's so important to take a moment for ourselves sometimes, isn't it? And this is a great way of doing it. So thank you and thank you. Now, the card of the show. We thought we knew what it would be. We changed our mind once we saw the technique. The winner of the card of the week today is the Annabelle Spencely. Card of the show, card of the show.
I think that's kind of thrown everyone. It's kind of a bit of a give that the actual craft along card or project is going to win the show, and I've thrown in a curveball on that one there, and yeah, you've chosen that one. I do like it.
I love that, and such a fabulous technique. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Craig, for all of those tips and tricks and hints you've given us today.
You're welcome.
It's
My
fabulous.
absolute pleasure.
Now, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for getting involved with your craft along. Don't forget, if you haven't finished it yet, still pop those pictures for us on our socials. We would love to see them. Now, I am going to be, myself and Craig are going to be back with you in a little bit, 2 hours, for my first ever cartload. What should I expect?
Action-packed, jam-packed full, really quick demos. It's going to be bargains galore.
Oh, I love it. So we've got that coming up for you in 2 hours, and don't forget, I'm going to be bringing the plates to you in that as well, so you can grab them if you so wish. So you've got 2 hours. Carry on crafting, pop on the tea if you want to, and make sure you're back with myself, Craig, and the whole team shortly. We'll see you in a bit, loves.
Bye.